Tanzania is an incredible country. The beautiful landscape meets fascinating cultures and friendly people. When visiting Tanzania, karibu is a Swahili word you'll soon become familiar with. It means welcome. Tanzania is a peaceful country, but that hasn't translated into great economic prosperity, with many people living below the poverty line. The area around Lake Victoria has a high instance of cleft lip and palate. Untreated, the deformity causes health issues and, more significantly, social isolation. It's also a rural area with open fires and young children helping with chores like carrying boiling water, so burns are all too common. An untreated burn can contract with huge force over time, causing pain and restricting movement. These deformities greatly affect a person's quality of life and limit opportunities for education, work and even marriage, but are unlikely to be repaired. With a population of 55 million people and a very limited health budget, plastic and reconstructive surgery hasn't been a priority in Tanzania. For 16 years, Tanzania has been welcoming the support of Rafiki Surgical Missions. Some of our achievements include surgeries, training, equipment donations and infrastructure upgrades. Our Rafiki missions have been helping tackle the lack of access to plastic and reconstructive surgery, and to date we've sent 32 surgical teams to Tanzania to perform life-changing operations on children and adults. So far, we've directly improved the lives of more than 3,000 people, their families and communities by providing free operations and treatment. Capacity building is also a priority for Rafiki. Our medical teams share their knowledge with local medical staff while they're visiting Tanzania. Long after our teams have returned home, the Tanzanian nurses and doctors treat thousands of patients with increased levels of safety and competency, which benefits the whole community. We're working with 2 Tanzanian surgeons on the way to becoming the country's first fully qualified plastic surgeons, thanks to a collaboration with Rafiki Surgeons, Tanzania's National Hospital and National Medical University. We've just sent our 46th shipping container of medical equipment to Tanzania, which in total have a replacement value running into the many millions of dollars. No longer needed in Perth, the equipment is now valued and appreciated in hundreds of under-resourced clinics and hospitals all over Tanzania. With support from St John Ambulance, an ambulance is on the way to Tanzania right now. This will be the 4th ambulance we've gifted, and being desperately needed in Tanzania, hopefully one of many more to come. We've recently purchased 2 new anaesthetic machines and renovated the theatre at our host hospital, Sekutore. It's now safer, more hygienic and more comfortable for the local staff and patients, and it benefits our visiting teams. We're proud of everything we've achieved over the past 16 years. What makes it even more special is that we're one of the very few charitable organisations with no paid staff. Rafiki is many people working together behind the scenes, sharing their abilities, whether it's administration, supporting fundraising or giving generously. And of course, without the time and skills of our volunteer medical teams, the heroes of our organisation, none of our work would be possible. The 2-week missions are no walk in the park. The flights are long and the working conditions are tough, but our team members come back time and time again. Nurse Shannon has completed 10 missions to Tanzania, anaesthetist Andrew 13, Nurse Alice 19, and Nurse and Mission Coordinator Taka 24 missions to Tanzania. Surgeon James has been on 10 missions with Rafiki, plus many more for other organisations. But he says the rewards on both sides make it all worthwhile.
The trips go for 2 weeks, and it's important that we go for that period of time to get the amount of work done that we do, so we leave our families, our children and our loved ones. But it's very rewarding work for us, and I think our families recognise that, and they're quite happy that we do the sort of work that we're doing in Africa.
Therapist Lisa has been on 3 of the past 4 missions to Tanzania.
There's just a lot of heart in what we do, and it means a lot to see someone go from having a severe deformity to then having a second chance at life and to be able to live their life to the fullest again. It's so heartwarming to see the changes and smiles and how much that impacts on their life.
Our teams also spend hours upon hours back home, planning the missions, streamlining processes, collecting equipment and working on other projects like our master's degree course, which will help make our work in Tanzania more sustainable for years to come.
Training the local people means that we'll be able to continue to see plastic surgery and reconstructive surgery done in Tanzania when we're not even there. And if we are able to start a formal training program, it won't be long till the fully trained plastic surgeons will train the next generation of plastic surgeons in Tanzania.
But with the sheer number of people needing surgery, even to keep up with the backlog of untreated patients, it will be many, many years until Tanzania is self-sufficient in this area. Until then, every April and October, we'll be greeted by hundreds of hopeful people on Clinic Day. We'll select those suitable for surgery and help as many people as we can.
Yeah, on the Clinic Day, I just really sense the desperation in the parents' eyes when they come in and they bring their beautiful kids with cleft lips and palates and different burns, contractures. They wouldn't normally have this opportunity to get operated on, so it's a really special gift that Rafiki is giving them.
With a relatively short operation, a child's cleft is repaired and he can look towards a brighter future where he is fully accepted and welcomed into his community. The deformities caused by burn contractures require much longer operations, but the results will dramatically increase the patient's quality of life.
The first mission I went on, I was absolutely astounded at just the extent of the scar contractures and the deformities, and for how long the particular patient's been living with that deformity. I just couldn't believe that someone's put up with having their chin on their neck, not being able to move their head, or to have such a severe contracture of their hand and not be able to move it. It was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, that these deformities actually are that severe. We just don't see it back home.
At times, it can be heartbreaking, difficult work for our teams, but there's something all our volunteers, whether they be medical or non-medical, have in common. We continue to give our time and energy to Rafiki because we know it's making a real change in people's lives. All of our more than 3,000 patients have a more positive story to tell thanks to Rafiki volunteers, and hearing those stories makes all the hard work worthwhile.
The good results that they've had, it just makes it all worth it. One child in particular had a very contracted foot where the big toe was basically right up onto the lower leg. She underwent a contracture release, and 6 months later on the next mission, it was great to just see her walking down the hallway. It was amazing, and her parents were just so thankful and so grateful that she now can walk to school and go play soccer with the other kids and be included in sports and social activities again.
In Tanzania right now, we have many thousands of friends grateful for our help. Rafiki has improved their quality of life and provided important opportunities for a brighter future, like the ability to go to school, find work, marry or support a family. And especially for our little ones. Sometimes being able to do the simple things in life is the greatest gift. All thanks to our family, a small, dedicated group of volunteers. Asante Rafiki.